Coach Moseley, everyone knows that both teams will be in for a battle Thursday afternoon. What kind of frame of mind is your team in?
Well, we think that the boys as a whole are in wonderful frame of mind, Joe. Our people have been in good frame of mind all year. We have a wonderful group of kids with a very fine competitive spirit.
What do you look for out there, out of VMI and VPI on Thanksgiving Day? Lots of offense or lots of defense?
Well, I think that naturally, I think it's going to be a real fine football game and a good hitting football game. But the fact that VMI has an excellent passer and some very fine fast backs, why, it could turn into more or less of an offensive type of football game. And since they have that type of strength, I think that we'll probably have to do a little bit more offensive maneuvering in order to stay in the ball game with them.
Physically, how does your team stack up, Coach?
Well, we can't say too much about our physical condition. We have had some rather serious injuries in the last 3 or 4 weeks, but we haven't done much contact work in the last few days, and possibly we're hoping that most of them will be in good condition come Thursday.
Could you predict a winner, Coach Moseley?
Well, I'd like to say that we were going to win the ball game, but that's hard to predict in any game of football today. I think our boys are in good enough frame of mind, and if we can play a flawless type of ball game, well, we can win.
I'm sure both Coach McKenna and yourself would be satisfied right now if you knew you're going to win by 1 point, right?
That's certainly true.
Thank you, Coach Frank Moseley. John, the Thanksgiving Day game is almost here. How do you think you'll make out?
Well, it's difficult to say, Joe. We'll show up at 1 o'clock that afternoon, but I wouldn't say the result is a foregone conclusion in any direction.
You feel now that probably your team may have hit its peak against Citadel. Do you think you can sustain that peak after a layoff of one Saturday?
Well, if we sustain the peak, Joe, it will become a plateau, and that's what we're striving for in our practices in the intervening 12 days. They did do an excellent job in Charleston, and we hope that they maintain the same level of efficiency on Thanksgiving.
How about your physical condition, your squad, Coach?
Questionable in a couple of departments. Overall, we're in pretty good shape, but in the person of John Trainham, who is a very fine left halfback, we have a question mark because John has fractured a finger on one of his hands, and until the doctors examine him just prior to the game, we won't know whether he's available or not. Marty Caples, right tackle, who has been a starter for us for 2 years, has a similar problem. He broke a bone in the back of his hand in a contact drill about 10 days ago and missed the Citadel game as a result. He will have to wait for last-minute examination, too, before we know whether he'll be able to play or not.
Could you predict a win at this time, Coach, or are you just optimistic?
We are reservedly optimistic, Joe, and I would make no prediction whatsoever.
Thank you, Coach John McKenna.